have some unfortunate news, especially for people who are signed up with ComEd. But I have some fortunate news. We get to use this little corporation behaving badly. There it is. A little.
So glad you lifted in there.
A little throwback to my weekly little report on some corporations who really, like, it kind of goes to the conversation we were having earlier, where corporations that above all will screw over everybody, screw over the environment, screw over whoever they need to, just to make sure that they don't have to take responsibility for what it is they're doing, and so that they can make the biggest profits possible at the cost of who gives a fuck. So the settlement, ComEd tried hard to keep secret.
Wait, at the cost of what?
At the cost of who gives a fuck.
Oh! I beg your pardon. What did you say?
Right. Exactly. So the settlement ComEd tried hard to keep secret reveals a little understood reality of the utility regulation. Your electricity rates include the cost of the utility's negative legal judgments and settlements. Isn't that exciting? So the $140 million payout to two different plaintiffs, a worker who lost both of his arms in a fiery incident, and the spouse of that worker's uncle who died by electrocution, was disclosed in 2021 by the law firm representing the surviving plaintiff, without naming ComEd as the defendant. And with plaintiffs barred under the agreement from announcing the high-profile case had been settled, the news broke nearly 2 hours after the fact, and that is why we now have this information.
This is such a crock of shit.
Sure is. The Sterling case was noteworthy for the size of the settlement, which plaintiffs' attorneys said was the largest contested liability personal injury settlement in Illinois history for a single person, as well as exposing the potential for similar ticking time bombs at any of ComEd's 1.4 million power poles. But it also now reveals a truth about utility regulation that is far from common knowledge, and what we all suspected, which is utilities like ComEd routinely pass the cost of legal judgments and settlements through to their ratepayers, leaving the company's shareholders bearing next to no financial risk for negligence or even wrongdoing. So
are they related to the Fraternal Order of Police?
What's that?
Are they related to the Fraternal Order of Police?
Oh, oh yeah, right. They're taking their notes from them. They pass their bad behavior, the costs of their bad behavior, onto their ratepayers, the way the taxpayers are passed the judgments for bad police behavior. Am I getting that right? Yeah, no, you're 100% getting that right. And so all of these, and I said in my notes here, but wait a minute. I thought investors were the ones who are all taking the risk.
Right. Good point.
So more broadly, with no shareholder risk at stake in the numerous lawsuits ComEd defends each year, arguably the utility is incentivized to settle virtually every case. Insurance costs, too, are the responsibilities of ratepayers. So even if premiums rise due to exorbitant payouts, like in the Sterling case, shareholders don't suffer. The ratepayers do. So, and my initial thought is like, okay, yeah, well, of course, like the cost of doing business gets passed on to the ratepayers, but it's like, no, but you guys are being negligent inside of your business. Then you get punished for being negligent, and then you punish your customers, and you get to do that because your customers don't really have any other choices.
Corporations don't get punished, though, Kira. Don't you know that?
Land of the free.
So yeah, it's a theme today. We need a municipal hospital. That we need to do that to Weiss. We need to municipalize our electric grid.
No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Go on, Ed. Preach it.
We need to give everybody houses.
And we need banking. That's public.
We need public banking. I mean, these are not outrageous ideas. You know, other places do this, and they thrive.
Absolutely.
We
And
just have a lot of resistance from all these people who are trying to get their own deal and then lifting up the ladder and leaving the rest of us behind.
Because capitalism is always the solution.
we should just privatize everything, especially things that people have no choice but to take part in, right? Like their health.
Yeah.
It's just fucked up, right? It's just a really fucked up system, right? Where you're just like,
we've been propagandized to accept for generations, and until I would opine that it was the emergence of the internet where people could get information elsewhere, not just what they're being fed on their nightly cable news, to suddenly realize, oh, there's a whole world out there that doesn't do things the way America does, and they're actually doing pretty well with how they take care of their citizens. I mean, this usurped the control of the propaganda here, which unfortunately too many people who still watch or get their news from cable TV, whether it's CNN, MSDNC, or Fox, they're not aware of the fact that, they're just drinking the Kool-Aid.
It's a phrase that I call bootstrap brain. Where basically we've been propagandized for decades in America to believe that the only way forward is capitalism and everything should be privatized and everyone should be totally self-reliant and pick yourself up by your bootstraps. And if you didn't make it rich, or if you didn't become super successful or have
they forgot to mention
life,
be born into
your
it,
fault.
because most are born into it. Hey, look, I'm not against making money. That's not what I'm espousing here. I think we all want to, but I don't need to make obscene amounts of money. I just want to make enough money to be comfortable, live a life that's fulfilling, not hoard it all at the expense of others not having anything. And I don't think that's too much to ask for anyone. Exactly. That's what capitalism is all about. And that's not what living in America should be about. That's not what the American dream is. Right, Oreo? He just hit the keyboard.
Right, Oreo.
I mean,
Oreo's got some things to say.
It looks like it. He's stuck to the microphone.
Well, he agrees.
Yeah. So the treatment of legal costs is in line with the virtually risk-free environment in which ComEd operates, thanks to a series of changes in the law over the last 15 years. So this is actually this is par for the course because of obviously laws that have gotten put in place such that ComEd gets to pass the buck. They bear no risk from customers who can't pay, for example. When past due accounts are written off and the amounts are above what the utility budgets are for base rates, ComEd gets to collect the remainder in a surcharge. So they literally don't have risk in their business. Everybody has to use their product, and all of the rules have been put in place such that they get to pass off any of the financial liability that it takes to run their business to their consumer, who has to have their product.
Yeah, it's a necessity.
It's just like
it's a necessity, as is
every time they need upgrades. Who do they come to?
Right, pay for this. We need subsidies. We need. It's not. They call themselves public utilities, but they're not public. They're public as much as the public benefits from their services. But to me, a public utility would suggest it's publicly owned, it does more than just enrich the companies.
Yep. So yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
Unfortunately, Pat, it doesn't seem monopolies are illegal anymore. Not here. Kathy, you missed out on a lot, so make sure you go back. Because your ears had to be burning, my dear, because we were giving you a lot of credit for things that you've helped bring to our attention.
And then they can't see beyond the end of their nose. They think only about themselves and their immediate needs rather than about other people or the more important issues relating to the future.
That's capitalism in a nutshell.
And and that would have you believing that is economics, right? As was the conversation that we were having earlier. And it's like, there's a conversation for supply and demand, but there's also a conversation saying that corporations are part of a community and an ecosystem that if they are raping, it's not going to last very long.
Pat, I refer to them as an excrement company, but that's just me.
Yeah, Kathy, I'm thinking about suing ComEd. Yep.
Fuck this noise, man.
I love that clip.